We had so much adversity thrown our way this year, from losing starters and rotation players to injuries to COVID cancellations, just the whole gambit. And I'm just extremely proud of how we just continued to show up, even with those ups and downs, even with so much unpredictable things happening. We just continued to show up and perform. We obviously took a huge step forward this year. We started playing better and playing our best, I guess is what I would say, down the stretch, which is what you always hope for. And so we had some really big wins over some really, really good teams this year, and teams that we haven't beaten in a really long time. So I was impressed with our girls' resiliency. I was impressed with their togetherness. There was never a splinter. We stuck together the whole season, and even when we're down at the end where we had a whole bench full of injured players, they just invested in supporting their teammates and cheering. And the ones that had maybe not played much early in the season that had to play big minutes later in the year, they stepped up. So it was cool to see. It was a very validating season where we're clearly on the right path and we're heading exactly where we hope we'd be heading at this point, and very excited about the future. Yeah, I think it's rewarding for your players, especially, right? They bought in at the beginning when we got here, 2.5 seasons ago when we weren't very good, and so to have the most wins since 2017-18, most conference wins since then, set the school record for threes made. If we didn't have 2 games canceled because of COVID, we would have set the WIAC record for threes made. So it's cool to have some of those benchmarks because I think for the players especially, it's rewarding for them because they're the ones that go out and play. They're the ones that go out and perform. So it's like little morsels, right, where you're like, okay, we're on the right path, and it's encouraging to continue to move forward. So it's a tough league, obviously. So it's as you're climbing, you look around and like, well, who are we going to climb over, right? And so to be able to beat some teams that went to the NCAA tournament this year and barely missed out on the NCAA tournament, for us, I think it's not like we're just beating up on some weak teams. Our schedule is top 10 in the country in terms of difficulty, and we were still able to get the wins that we did. So very it's a cool experience, right? It's one of those you look back and go, that's pretty cool. And so I'm excited to break more records going forward, and I think we'll continue the trend that we're on right now. I expect the win totals to continue to increase, and I see more records falling next year for sure. Yeah, when we came in, Jenna Zeman and Haley D'Souza were here, and they just bought into what we were doing from the get-go. Jenna was an all-WIAC performer her freshman year before we got here, and then twice more since we've taken over. And she's been a huge on-the-court vocal leader and really has kind of set the example. And then Haley has come in as someone who didn't play hardly at all her freshman year and has become one of the best shooters in the league because of hard work. So she's really someone you point at and go, that's how you do it right there. So those two have been instrumental. And then adding Macy Nilsson last season as a transfer, she finished 4th in the league in scoring, 7th in rebounding, and I think she's only scratched the surface of what she can do. She can obviously score the ball, but I think she's going to continue to become even more efficient, and I think her numbers are going to continue to increase. But she's an incredible player. So first team All-WIAC, well-deserved. That's the first one we've had in a while here, and I think she's going to continue to improve going forward. And then we just have so many underclassmen. I mean, Annie Fine, Olivia Myron, who played huge minutes for us, adding Cam Meredith from volleyball, who hadn't played basketball in 2 years and come in and has become an invaluable player. And I can go down the list, but it's just all these players who have just stepped up in ways that maybe they didn't expect. Some of those players didn't play a lot early, and then they came on late when Coley Justice got injured. But then you've got some sophomores and juniors, and Kate Karch and Cassie Heinrichs, who have been unbelievable and taken huge steps forward. So yeah, we'll miss Jenna and Haley, but when we look at what we've got coming back, what we've got coming in, and potential other additions that we might add in the off season, I think we got a chance to be pretty darn good. And I don't like to overpromise or anything like that, but I just look at the core of what we have in terms of basketball talent and who they are as people. I don't see us going anywhere but up. Yeah, we told the girls to take some time off, and some of those ignored that. They're in the gym already, working on their game, which you certainly appreciate. But that speaks to how this program's improved, because you got players like that and people like that want to keep working. So I do want them to take a few weeks off. We got spring break coming up in a few weeks. I'd love for them just to take some time to, get caught up on school and just be a college kid and hang out and have fun. And once they're back, we'll get back into the weight room and start working on that kind of stuff. In the off season, we can't do anything in terms of, actively on the court with them, but we've got some stuff set up for them to take home, or if they stay in town, to work on here. For us, we're at the point now, though, where we do have 14 coming back next year, so they know what it is. They know how we do things. They know what the expectation level is and what needs to happen. And so I'm excited because I feel like this is the first time we've had that, where we've got, a couple coming in that are new, but they've got a whole bunch of teammates that are going to be able to guide them and steer them in the right direction and hold our standard. So going into next season, it is exciting. As you already look at the schedule, you're already thinking about, all right, what are we going to do here and when are we going to start here? It's a challenging schedule for next year, too. And so it's one where I want us to make a push towards the top of this league. I want us to do that, and if we're doing that, we're obviously pushing towards, one of the better spots in the country. And again, high expectations, and really the focus is on a day-to-day, but I think we have a chance to be pretty special next year, and so I am looking forward to it. It's a long time from here to now, so, we've got to pace ourselves, all of us. We certainly have to do that, but I see a lot of special things for this team going forward, and I'm already ready for October 15 of 2022 to hit here.